So the deposit return scheme would be very similar to the likes that are in Germany, where if you buy a plastic bottle, say a plastic bottle of water, there'll be 10 cents or thereabout. You know, the figure hasn't been set, but there will be a figure on it that when you return the plastic bottle, you'll get that money back. And this is a really good way to incentivize people to think about how much they're using and also to bring it back. And you get a better standard of recycled materials then when you have that kind of a scheme in place. And the single-use plastics, we want to get rid of them because they're just not recyclable, and they're filling our dumps, they're filling our rivers, our seas. We've all seen the videos going around on Facebook, on Planet Earth, etc., that are showing just how much is ending up in our environment, in our food chain, in the stomachs of animals, on beaches. It's horrifying, and we need to put an end to it. So that's what our waste reduction bill is focusing in on.
Very good. And on the flip side of that as well, some coffee, it's been introduced in the UK, and some coffee shops have talked about a latte levy. Do you think that would be something that could work?
Yeah, so a latte levy, there is pros to this with latte levy. It gets people to think about it again. And I think when you put that little monetary value, it makes people think, oh wow, yeah, I have spent like however many euros this week on coffee cups, like plastic bag levy in the past. However, we would advocate for getting rid of those single-use coffee cups completely, because currently 2 million disposable coffee cups are ending up in Irish landfills every day, which is an amazing number, a horrible number. And even if we charge money on it, and even if we invest that money into recycling, they don't get recycled. They stay there, and they take a long time to dissolve into the earth. So yeah, I see the pros of it. It might be something for phasing time, but realistically, we just have to get rid of those single-use plastics.
And I've seen Dublin City Council have actually banned plastics in their offices and stuff. That's a massive step forward, isn't it?
It is a fantastic step forward, and it actually came about from work that one of our councillors, Claire Byrne, who's on Dublin City Council, she put in motions on this calling for it, and it's absolutely brilliant. Dublin City Council and Cork City Council have both introduced this. And it's really important that we have organisations like that. They're the two largest councils in Ireland. And if we get other people like civil service departments, government departments, that kind of thing, to bring about this change, it'll trickle down. It will create a culture elsewhere. So yeah, we'd like to see other large organisations lead the change there.
Yeah, and I have seen the EU have hoped that by 2030 they're banning single plastics as well. Do you think that's a realistic goal?
We would, again, advocate for it to be brought forward to 2020. It has to be done. If we want to be realistic about it, we don't have that kind of time. We don't have that kind of time to allow plastics to keep on infiltrating our environment. So we think a realistic thing is to bring that lot forward and to be leaders, to show more ambition on this, and to work with the industries and to work with people to enable that change quickly. And I think people are completely up for bringing in a change.
What would be the incentive for people to bring their own disposable cup or non-disposable cup to a coffee shop?
Well, like a reusable cup, the incentive would be the discount, and apart from the discount then as well, they also know that they're not contributing to environmental change, because the issue with the cup is not just the manufacture of the cup, but then the disposal of the cup. So you have to look at the whole circle of what happens with a disposable cup. It has to be manufactured, there has to be paper and basically trees used to manufacture the cup. It has to be transported. All of these different energies lead to resource depletion.
Yeah, and I see that there's 500 billion cups are sent to incineration or landfill each year. And do you think the normal person would know about this?
No, not really. So it's about education now.
I think that would probably be the biggest thing. Would be people would say that it's probably handier just to go into a coffee shop and use a disposable cup. They might not remember to bring it and so on. I don't know what your view would be on that, or.
I suppose it's developing a routine. It's like whenever you're trying to change your behaviour, you have to make little steps that make it easier for you. So for example, I left this morning, I had 2 cups on the windowsill before I ran out of the house. And I always have 2 cups on the go. One's in the dishwasher and there's another one there for me to take.
Yeah.
So it's just about having a routine. It's like you take your handbag or you take your car keys. You have to be conscious about changing your own behaviour.
Yeah.
I'd also say that I find that you can just wash your cup where you are in your workplace. If you've access to washing it afterwards, then you have it ready to go again if for lunchtime.
Yeah.
Sometimes people put barriers in front of themselves, say, oh, I don't have the facility to do this, or I can't do that. You just have to try and think about a solution rather than a problem. Yeah.
Do you know how harmful disposable coffee cups are for the environment?
I do, yeah. It's absolutely tremendous how many the rubbish and plastics are in the ocean at the moment, isn't it?
Do you know how harmful? Disposable coffee cups are for the environment?
No, I wouldn't really look into it all that much, so I don't really know why. It's bad, is it?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
No, I don't, to be honest. Trying to enlighten me.
Well, there's a couple of million are sent each year to landfill. Disposable coffee cups. So yeah. And would you ever consider using a reusable coffee cup? Maybe a keep cup in shops?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, it's the same coffee at the end of the day, so I've never really thought about it though. I can just buy them as I go.
Yeah, just 15 cents cheaper if you bring it in.
Didn't know that.